Okay, let's see how we can evaluate the effect of time constant in case of differentiator, or we can see in case of in general RC circuit. So here I have drawn this simple RC circuit. Now let's say this is working. We know this is working as a differentiator. Now not for all the case of R and C value to work as a differentiator. It is going to work as a differentiator for certain values of C and R. Let's evaluate it. So this is the pulse we have given. Now let's take the value of this resistor as 2 kilo ohm. Okay, now let's run it. Yeah, okay, fine. So this we can see this is the voltage basically across the resistor, but this voltage generally shows how this capacitor is being discharged, right? So capacitor in this circuit is being discharged through the resistor R. So voltage across the resistor R will also depict what is the discharging pattern of this capacitor. Now, to know the time constant, we know this maximum voltage is 5 volt. So the time constant is the time required to charge a capacitor to 63.2% of the final value. So 5 volt, it's 63.2% will be something like 3.16. So now if 3.16, so basically this voltage across this resistor should come down by 3.16. This will replicate that there has been 63.2% change in the capacitor voltage. So this is the capacitor voltage finally here. Now we have to replicate 63.2% change from this 5 volt value. So 63.2% change means 3.16 volt change. So it will come down. So it will be around 1.84. So let's place cursor here, display cursor, and we come down to 1.84. So that now here we can see 1.9773. So 1.84. So 1.8431 approximately we got. And let's measure what is the time. So the time is 65.845 microseconds. So if we convert this time into milliseconds, so this will be 0.06584 millisecond. So that is 0.065 millisecond. Now theoretically we can verify the time constant here because R into C, we multiply 0.033 and this 2 kilo ohm. So this is nothing but equal to 0.066 millisecond. So yes, we can see that the theoretical time constant matches with the experimental time constant. Okay, now let's see if we increase or decrease the value of time constant, what effect we are going to have on the circuit. So initially, let's make very high value of this resistor. So now we are increasing the time constant by making to 20 kilo ohm. Now let's run it and we observe. So let's see the output now. Yeah, of course. Now we can see the discharging of the capacitor is now very slowly, right? So it will always remain constant. Okay, so there is a very less discharging rate of this capacitor. Fine. So as we increase the time constant, discharging will be very slowly, and the voltage across the resistor R2 nearly remain same. Now, third experiment, we can, if we decrease the time constant to let's say 0.02, let's say 0.2 now. Now we run it. Let's see now. Wow, we can see now discharging of the capacitor is very quickly, right? So for a very small value of the time constant, discharging is very quickly, and therefore we can see a spike. Now we know if you want to make this circuit to behave as a differentiator, that means for a square or pulse input, we should get spike. Now this is not the exactly spike. So to get the exact spike, we have to make this time constant very small. So let's now make to 0.02. That means further we are decreasing the time constant. Now we run the circuit. We run the circuit. Let's now see. Now here we are getting exactly spike we are getting. So just evaluate. See, now this is a spike. So now it is working as a perfect differentiator. So the conclusion, this time constant basically decides whether the circuit is going to behave as a this differentiator or normal filter circuit. So to make the circuit as a differentiator, this time constant should be very small.